Hey everyone, welcome again to our Aether Revolt set review for green. We're going to be going through all of the green cards today, so got a lot of big creatures to see. And joining me, I have Aaron.
Hey
How are we
guys,
doing, Aaron?
good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And on the other side, we have Anthony.
Hey guys, we're into the green stuff. This is my jam. Screw your black stuff.
Green. Well, I did love good green in Kaladesh, so let's see if Aether Revolt can hold up. Our first card is our Aether Thing for green, so part of the common cycle is an Aether Herder. It's a 4-mana 3/3 that didn't get a keyword, even though all the others did. So apparently they don't want to put trample on here.
Boo.
All it does is gives you 2 energy when it enters, and you can pay 2 energy when it attacks for a servo. So kind of the most bland of this cycle, not really bothered about playing it. And as we mentioned in our red set review, the 4 mana is sort of got a glut of things to do, so I don't think this is going to see a lot of play.
Yeah, sad days for green here. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's got 3 creature types. That's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, apart from that, nothing. Boring.
Yeah.
Let's go on to something more exciting.
pretty straightforward.
Aether Stream
Very
Leopard.
slow.
2 and a green for a 2/3 cat with trample. A cat that has trample. Okay. When it enters the battlefield, you get an energy. And when it attacks, you may pay one energy. If you do, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Well, that's kind of cool.
Seems pretty good.
It seems fine. And again, if you've got a bit of energy floating around, which the green and green-red decks can do, this is probably a reasonable attacker. Your opponent's going to have to trade for it.
Yeah, you're going to beat in as a 4/3 a lot of the time if you're an energy deck, so that's pretty good.
It's kind of a little version of Riparian Tiger from the previous set.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fine 3-drop. It's not super exciting. You
Yeah.
probably play it in your 3-drop when you need them.
Yep, just to fill a common.
Yeah, was you can you can threaten larger creatures with it as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, trades up.
So from elves to cats, next is a lizard.
Yeah.
So, very colourful frill neck lizard. Again, great lark here from art here from Spetten. This is a 7 mana. That's 4 green for a 7/7 lizard. It has trample, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get 1 energy. You may also pay 1 energy to give it +1/+1 until end of turn. So this is
you
your
get 1
giant
energy
green.
for each creature you control.
Right, yes, I should have continued reading that sentence. So you attack, and those other creatures don't even have to be attacking either. If you just have other creatures around, you get a bunch of energy.
Yeah.
And you pump it up and trample them for a bunch.
This card's pretty cool. It's going to finish games real quick.
It seems good. Yeah, I'd say so. Is
See
there
this,
like
Elves Tribal? You can see this in an Elves Tribal sort of commander type deck. Go wide, play this, swing for a million.
yeah, it's a bomb, but 7 mana is a lot to get to, so some kind of accelerant or a way to cheat into play would be awesome.
Yeah. That won't be a problem. This
But-
card's really good.
But energy for each creature, yeah, that's pretty worthy of mythic.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty scary.
And a
Imagine
nice-
this could
Yeah.
enable some silly things.
Yeah, and a nice little Aussie theme there with the frilled neck lizard, which is pretty cool as well. Alright. Aid from the Cow. 3 green for a rare enchantment. And it's got Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, reveal the top card from your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield, otherwise you may put it onto the bottom of your library.
Wording very similar to a card called Lurking Predators, which is similar, does the same sort of effect when your opponent casts a spell. This one being at the end of the turn and having a revolt trigger, not quite as good at getting things into play.
Yeah, I don't
But it
like
gets
this very much.
all kinds of things into play. Now, this seems like a commander card. This is not something you want to be playing in limited.
And even then, play Lurking Predators. Unless you don't have creatures in your deck.
Yeah.
But why are you playing green then? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this card at all. I don't like it. I'm going to be sad to open this.
Yeah. And Revolt can only trigger on your turn, so sort of the value there is pretty minimalistic.
Yeah.
Pretty mediocre. This is the dubious
Oh.
challenge.
Yeah. A card that's not mediocre though is Druid of the Cow. 1 and a green for a 1/3 elf druid that adds 1 green mana to your mana pool. This card is going to be very, very good. These type of accelerants are always good, and this is no exception.
1/3 is good, really good stats too. It just blocks really well if you need it to, while also accelerating you.
Yeah, I really like this card. It's pretty simple. We've seen it before, but they're always high picks, and it's at common. So, yeah, this is going to be a great and often picked card.
Play a heap of them. You can also see this if green-white gets back into the spotlight. This could be a standard player as well.
Yeah, play this over Ajani, Oath of Ajani, because at least you get a creature out of it.
Yeah. Gets you to your frilled neck lizard faster.
Exactly.
So Aaron, what would you think of a 1-mana 3/4?
I would be excited to find out what horrific downside there is. But I have previously read this card, and I think it's really cool. So we have here Green Belt Rampager. As Brett stated, a single green 3/4. Now I know, hold on a second, there's more. When it enters the battlefield, you can pay 2. If you can't, you return it to its owner's hand, and you get 1 energy. So it is an energy enabler. You can play it multiple times in a turn to get more energy, and then pay for itself. But once you have that 2 energy, it is not a main effect. So as soon as you have 2 energy and you cast it, you can't then keep bouncing it and do silly things. So it is either a 1-mana 3/4 on a turn that you actually have energy, or it's a 2-mana 3/4. Both cases pretty good.
Yeah, very nice card.
Yeah, this card's
There's
awesome.
a lot of interesting things you can do with this as well, if you don't have the energy, because you can play it, and it's when it enters trigger. So you can also use it to crew a vehicle before it leaves the battlefield again.
Yeah.
So you can use its existence in play to trigger your revolts, to crew vehicles, to do other things before you have to have that trigger resolve.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that this thing can do.
Yeah. This card with 2 forests in your opening hand is just, you're super happy about that. You get a turn 2, 3/4.
Excellent card.
Yeah.
And it's an elf.
Alright. So now we have a Green Wheel Liberator. This is a 1 and a green for a 2/1 elf warrior. It has Revolt, and so its Revolt trigger is when it enters, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters if you had a permanent leave. So this can be a 2-mana 4/3 if you have your Revolt trigger, or just a 2-mana 2/1. So not too bad. I think depending on how easy it is for your deck to trigger Revolt, this could be good as a 2-mana 4/3. But if you're not reliably triggering Revolt, this is pretty boring rare.
Could this see play in Modern?
Could this even? I could see this working for a Naya deck. If the Naya Zoo, sort of your Wild Nacatl type decks. If you're a deck that plays Wild Nacatl, this could be really good because again, playing your fetch land and then playing this as a 4/3 on turn 2 is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another
Could
card.
there potentially be a standard deck with maybe this and the elephant? I suppose at that point it makes it quite significantly worse that you have to play it on turn 3, but I'm not sure what other kind of enablers there are for Revolt in standard.
Yeah.
We do have one fetch land in standard being Evolving Wilds, so you can only really do that on turn 3.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ways to have Revolt trigger on turn 2.
Yeah.
But standard is by nature a slower format, so maybe that's okay. Guess we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah. All right. All right. Heroic.
This is a rare.
Yeah, rare. Heroic Intervention. 1 and a green for an instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. I've never liked these cards. They always promise to be better than they turn out to be. I see it as a really bad counterspell, really narrow counterspell. That's how I see it. And counterspells are usually bad in limited. Maybe it's got a constructed element to it, but that's how I see this card, and it's just I don't like it.
For limited, I think this is pretty mediocre, but it needs to be a rare for the fact that you don't want this happening all that often in limited. I mean, if it was easy to get a lot of these, that could be quite annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean,
but
I
yeah,
imagine
I can see this in standard.
might lose the occasional game to it in limited, but yeah, I agree much more in a sort of if there's a removal heavy format or removal heavy deck. This feels like a sideboard card.
Yeah.
Or if there's I suppose a damage based wrath effect and you're playing an aggressive deck and need to protect yourself. Like was it Kozilek's Return?
Yeah.
Yeah, just any sort of wrath effects. It's protecting you from all those sort of things. If you wanted to play it in a Naya type deck where you've got Radiant Flames, you need to protect your guys from your own Radiant Flames on turn 5.
Yeah.
But notably, it doesn't protect you from the Black Wrath that we previously covered. So if that thing becomes popular, if that's popular, then likely Heroic Intervention will not be doing well.
Yeah. I guess the one spot where I kind of like it in limited is if you got kind of a board stall and you're looking to trade off a bunch of creatures, this can save yours and theirs will die, but even then it's pretty narrow. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, don't want to play this too much in limited.
Yeah. This card, I quite like the look of this card. Hidden Herbalists.
Oh, yeah.
1 and a green for a 2/2 human druid with Revolt. And when it has Revolt, you pretty much add, when it enters the battlefield, you get green added to your mana pool. So this is a sort of a callback to a card called, what was it called again?
Thinking in Burning Tree Emissary?
Burning Tree Emissary,
Okay.
that's the one, yep. So I don't really think of it much for limited or standard, but if you've got 8 Burning Trees in modern, I don't know, I just think there might be something there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you can do with that, and I did see some people talking about that idea, just chaining Burning Tree Emissaries and Hidden Herbalists. I don't know, maybe it's some kind of wacky Teamer Storm deck that you can build there with Manamorphose and a bit of those sort of things as well.
Yeah.
And just keep going up to a Grape Shot. I don't know, it's pretty weird.
But yeah, it's a cool card. Again, Revolt's just so much harder in limited and standard as well, I think. So I don't see this being anything there. But yeah.
It's pretty much just a bear.
Just a bear.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
So we have a High Spire Infusion next. This is 1 and a green for Giant Growth. So instant target creature gets +3/+3. A reasonable combat trick and kind of always has been. A little bit more expensive. You get 2 energy for your extra mana though. So it's a Giant Growth +1 and you also get 2 energy. So I think in most of your green type decks that have a use for energy, this is going to be a reasonable trick that you're going to want to have 1 or 2 of.
Yeah, I really like this card. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And it's just going to help fuel your energy as well. Yeah. Alright. Next one is Lifecraft Awakening. X and a green for an instant. Put X +1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature or vehicle, it becomes a 0/0 construct artifact creature. What?
This is really weird, and it's worth taking a minute to just read back through that because it's any artifact you control. So it can be an artifact creature, it can be a vehicle, it can be any of those things. And if it isn't already a creature or a vehicle, it becomes a creature as well. So you can sort of instant speed turn your implement or some other non-creature artifact into a creature to block.
This is a scary card.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
I can see
How the
getting
mana sink.
a few blowouts with this card.
Yeah, just an unblocked servo and then just make it a 6/6 in the late game. That's just scary stuff.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that one. I think it's a pretty high pick, and you're gonna want to have that. You don't want a lot of this. Like if you have 3 or 4 in your pool, you don't want to play all of them. But probably 2 would be as far as I'd go with these guys.
Yeah. And you got to have a lot of artifacts as well.
Yes.
Keep your opponent on the toes. So we have here Lifecraft Cavalry, a 5-mana 4/4 Elf Warrior with Trample, and it has Revolt. If your Revolt triggers, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters. So it's a 5-mana 6/6
With trample.
instead of a 4/4
With trample.
with Trample.
There's a lot of trample
it's
in this
5 mana
block.
I think, this is a good common. On turn 5 mana, you're reasonably likely to be able to get Revolt to trigger if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So I can see this being a 6/6 more often than not. But it is a 5 mana uncommon, 5 mana common. So
Yeah.
it's not the most amazing thing, but I would play it.
Yeah, it's one of those filler 5 drops if you need, something to beat with. Yeah. All right. Lifecrafter's Gift. 3 and a green for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So make a guy bigger and then make all your big guys bigger.
So at the very least, if you've got a creature, this is going to give them 2 +1/+1 counters for 4 mana. And hopefully in your green deck, particularly your green-black +1/+1 counter theme deck, this can be massive. Just giving everything counters.
There was a previous card, which I think was Dragon Scale Armor, potentially, from the Khan's block. It was just a common, same cost, and put 2 counters on a creature. So this has a slight upside, but obviously Fabricate has an impact. If you want to do some silly standard shenanigans with, like, Nissa, then maybe that can go wide, do something pretty silly.
Yeah, didn't that also untap the creature? Was it Dragon Scale Boon?
Yeah, actually, no, it did. You're right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is
It's
sort of
not a-
marginal.
It's not
This
a
guy.
great trick for limited.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it, but it'll blow me out at some point. I know it.
If it comes around and you happen to have a sort of counter theme going on, then by all means,
Yeah.
try and make it work.
All right, Maulfist Revolutionary. 1 green for a 3/3 human warrior with trample. And when Maulfist Revolutionary enters the battlefield or dies, for each kind of counter on target permanent or player, give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. So, kind of the mini proliferate again. This is good stats. This is good card.
Yeah, typical of green, just your 3 mana 3/3. It has trample and it has upside to give more counters, more +1/+1s, more energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good card. You're gonna need to pick that up early if you want it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, this looks so cool. Okay, Monstrous Onslaught. 3 green for a sorcery at uncommon. When Monstrous Onslaught deals X damage, divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you cast Monstrous Onslaught. So,
Yep.
the creature doesn't have
This
to be
is really
around
interesting.
when
Yes,
it resolves.
they've
Yeah.
spelled that out.
Yeah.
Because of the way the rules work. When you cast it, you have to choose your damage assignment and all of that. And that happens in the process of casting the spell, so your opponent can't respond to that. If you have a 5/5 in play, you get 5 damage, even if your opponent then murders the creature, the 5/5.
Cool. So,
Well, it's a strange, a little strange to see, I guess, that kind of burn effect in green. But I mean, green has big dudes. This has got to be a decently high pick, I would imagine.
yeah, I reckon.
Seems good.
It's somewhat conditional removal at 5 mana and sorcery speed, so I'm not really super keen on this one.
Isn't it kind of like Bear Punch, but like it's never going to get beaten by a removal spell?
It's a little bit like Bear Punch, but Bear Punch was 2 mana.
Oh, yeah. No, of course, yeah. But But yeah, it's got that same sort of effect where you're just throwing damage from one creature to another one. But this one, you get to split it up. So if you've got like a 3/3 and a 1/1, you can get them all. I like this card. I think this is a
Pretty
really
much,
good
I
card.
suppose.
Sure. I think it's a
Yeah,
really good
it's
effect,
like
but expensive.
Yeah.
a conditional uncommon Cone of Flame.
All right, don't get carried away.
No, it's tricky to play this card.
No, I'm just gonna play
Yeah, I said
I'm just gonna
I
play
said-
a Pima Outrider on turn 4, and then I'm gonna play this on turn 5. And I'm gonna be happy. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, seems good.
All right.
All right, let's have a look at the snake. Kind of like snake. It's a 1-mana 1/2 with Death Touch. It can revolt to give you an extra +1/+1 counter, so it can be a 1-mana 2/3 with Death Touch. Fine uncommon, pick it, play, good card. As we mentioned our 1/1 with Death Touch earlier, in black, and that's a really effective ability having that Death Touch. And if you can get that counter that make it a 2/3, it can actually survive combat a few times to block off smaller things. So, yeah, good card here.
Yeah, I quite like it. I always like these little Death Touch creatures, and looks like there's a couple of them in this set. Maybe it's gonna slow the game down a little bit.
Possibly why we need so much trample.
Yeah. All right. Good card. Yep. Pick it high. Okay. Natural Obsolescence. 1 and a green for an instant. Put target artifact on the bottom of its owner's library. We've seen a similar card to this.
We've seen a few. You've got there was Into the Aether, or a similar green card back in Born of the Gods. But it's just a naturalize. Ultimately, you're taking an artifact and putting it at the bottom of its owner's library. So,
Yeah. Cool card.
importantly, it doesn't say enchantment, so it's not a proper naturalize. It'll only hit artifacts.
Okay, so it's not going to get the, what is it, Thopter Arrest.
Yeah, you can't get unarrested.
But it is an instant, so super
Yeah.
nice trick.
You'll play this every time in Limited, so yeah.
Alright, onto an uncommon here. We have our Pima Aether Seer. So this is a 4-mana 3/2 Elf Druid. When it enters, you get an amount of energy equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So that could be a lot, or it could be 3. Because she will be on the battlefield when that happens. So at the very least, you should get 3. Barring a few situations.
Where they kill
You
it.
can also pay 3 energy to have target creature block this turn if able. So you can lure a creature if you want to.
That seems pretty
3
good.
energy, so yeah, fairly good little card here. You can force some creatures into some bad blocks. And you can actually get quite a lot of energy out of this if you've got a couple of big creatures floating around.
Yeah, I like this.
I like
with
that they reused the Art of Hydra from the previous card.
Yep. I like how they how green's shaping up. They've got a bunch of big guys, and these sort of the smaller guys are just help the big guys out and make better use of the big guys. So I really like this card.
Alright.
And
Prey
move.
Upon, nice
yeah.
reprint. So this is green for Prey Upon, a sorcery, and it's fight. So target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, which means they hit each other for their power.
Yeah.
Very typical green removal. This is how green gets creatures of the opponents out of the way. Just
Yeah.
punches them.
We've seen this before, so you know how good this is. Play it. It's usually pretty good, so beat them up with your big green guys. Alright, Ridge Scale Tusker. 3 green for a 5/5 beast. When Ridge Scale Tusker enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. This is a card. I like
That's a
this
lot of
card. Yeah. This is really good. So it's going to come down, make the rest of your guys bigger, and then you're going to smash your opponent with them. So this is a good card.
He's a pretty weak threat himself.
Okay, this one I'm excited about. Rishkar Pima Renegade. 2 and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature elf druid. It's a rare. And when Rishkar Pima Renegade enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So it comes in with 4 power, really. and then each creature you control with a counter on it has tap, add green to your mana pool. So it turns all of your little guys who you've now made big into mana dorks as well. I freaking love this card. It's going straight into my blue-green Azuri commander deck, and I'm going to be just... Oh, I love this card.
I hate that deck so much. Sorry. This is a really sweet card. Notably, it's not other creatures. So it can target itself. It can come in as a 3/3 and have that ability. You only need one other creature to get the full value off of it, which is really nice. And yeah, as you said, you just turn your other things into slightly bigger mana dorks. The green-white token Planeswalker deck is getting a lot of toys this set, so I reckon that could be a serious contender in Standard.
Yeah, just making all your guys bigger with counters, and yep. This is awesome. I'm really happy. I really like this card.
Yeah. Seems really cool.
Okay.
And also with the previous card that put counters and everything, a bit cheesy, but this and this put counters on all you dudes, make lots of mana, and then flood through to the mythic 7/7, drop it, make all the energy, go nuts.
Yeah,
Green
yeah.
Elf Snowball.
Yeah, Elf Ball could be a Standard deck.
Yes.
So from Rishka to Rishka's Expertise, this is the last in our Expertise cycle. It's the most expensive at 6 mana for a sorcery. You draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, and then you may cast a card with converted mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So this is going to be great. Again, in those sort of green commander decks, this is going to be a lot of fun because you have some giant creature, draw a bunch of cards, and then after you draw those cards, you choose the best 5 mana spell and put it into play.
Oh, yes.
A lot of fun with this card.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with this card. Drawing all the cards and then playing something sweet. Aaron? Not black? Not
Yeah,
interested?
No, I mean, I played a pretty beefy red-green commander deck for a while.
Yep.
And I can only imagine the disgusting things that this card can do with, like, some absurdly large Hydra or other creature. Just seems like really good value.
Yeah, seems sweet.
Do you play it in limited?
Say if you had a
probably
4/4, you draw 4 cards and then play a card. You probably do, yeah.
I think most of the Expertise are worth playing in limited. I don't think they're slam first picks. Like, you got to look at your uncommons, given how powerful some of the uncommons are. But I would not be unhappy if this was in my green deck.
Yeah. I think so as well.
Particularly sealed. If you're playing sealed, this is a nice card because you'll be running low on cards as we refill your hand as well as putting something into play.
Yeah, this can get you right back into the game. All right. That's so cute.
Scrounging Vandar. So this is a cat monkey.
Yes.
2 mana for a 0/0 cat monkey. It enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters, so it's a bear with 2 counters. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you can move any number of those counters onto another target creature. So if you don't like having your cat monkey around after he's scrounging around, you can just throw the counters onto other creatures.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, it's just kind of cool. It's a neat little common. It'll fill in your 2-drop slot. There haven't been a lot of great green 2-drops other than the mana elf. So this is probably going to be important for your green 2-drop slot.
Yeah. And it does the whole synergy with the +1/+1 counters as well.
Yeah, you get to spread your counters around, and having a number of different creatures with +1/+1 counters is important in this set. So.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it'd be fun to get him for 2, play your 3 drops like a main phase, and just upgrade it.
Yeah.
Value.
What is going on there?
So we
No
have
idea.
here Silk Weaver Elite. Sort of hard to see what is going on in that picture. A 3 mana 2/2 Elf Archer. You can see she's firing a crossbow now, I think. She has reach, and when Silk Weaver Elite enters the battlefield with the permanent you control left, you may draw a card.
Yeah, that's a very strange art. I'm not sure what Magali here was going for, but not really sure what's going on.
Does it have like like spider legs or something, and is that what's going on? Like,
It
No,
just might be a
it's
dress.
I
so
don't know.
she's repelling based on the flavor text. Elvish weavers use spider silk to make everything from tapestries to repelling ropes. So she's getting up around. It probably is a crossbow, as was mentioned. She's
Yeah, yeah.
repelling down the side of this thing. But otherwise, it's a common 2/2 for 3 with reach. If your opponent has a lot of flyers, this is going to be able to block one of them.
Sure.
But not a great card.
Yeah, not too excited
Not a
about
great
this.
Yeah, 2/2 for 3 is not great, and Revolt's maybe a bit too tough to activate for drawing a card to be that relevant on this particular common.
Yeah.
Especially in green, you expect more out of your green creatures than a 2/2 for 3.
Yeah. If you can get that draw a card though, it's okay. So I don't know, but it's really going to be filler.
Conditionally okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alright, our last full green card is called Unbridled Growth. It is 1 green for an enchantment, and this you can enchant a land, and that land can now add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this is an enchantment to help you fix. So if you're splashing a 3rd color, you might want to consider this sort of a card. It's usually pretty bad to spend a card to do this. You can get that card back by sacrificing Unbridled Growth, so you can sack it and draw a card at any point. So not as bad as some of the versions of this, but still not something I want to be doing unless I am splashing and having that 3rd color.
Yeah. I mean, you can cash it in later,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not excited by this.
I think previous iterations of this have just drawn you the card as soon as it came into play, so this one's not particularly great.
Yeah, most of them would cost more, so just being green is nice, but yeah, do not play this unless you are playing at least 3 colors.
Yep. Alright, on to the multicolors. Outland Boar, 2 red green for a 4/4 boar, so that's pretty good stats. And then it has that Outland Boar can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so no chumping for you. Card's decent, but again, like most of this cycle, of this uncommon cycle, it's not pushing me into that color combination. It's just sort of a bonus to get late if you're in there.
Yeah, it's a good 4-drop, but not amazing. It does have that sort of, the green seems to have this little theme of not letting little creatures block, so it should get through or trade with something serious, but it's fine.
Yeah. Makes it hard to double block.
Oh my god, this card.
Okay.
It's called Rogue Refiner. I only just read this a moment ago and just immediately fell in love with this card. It's 1 green blue for a human rogue, a 3/2, and when it enters the battlefield, draw a card and get 2 energy.
What
this is
more
like a little
could you?
Drifter.
Yeah, what more could you ask for, really?
It's drawing a card. It's giving you energy. You can blink it and bounce it. It's great.
Yeah, this card's really good.
I will play this card. I will draw me into green blue, and I will splash it more than happily.
Yeah, especially being green, one of the colors. Yeah, this is something I'm looking to splash and abuse with Cloud Blazer.
I really want to splash this in a green, white, blue, some combination of those 3 colors with white, so you have all the different flickers. The cat that we saw back in white that lets you flicker a permanent, and white has a few ways to do that. This is just such a good card for it.
Yeah, and even with Panharmonicon, you do maybe some pretty silly things.
Yeah.
Willing to say best multicolor uncommon?
I think it's
Got
close.
one to look at,
I think it's close between this and the red white one. I do like the red white one. It's very aggressive, stopping a creature from
Surprised that
blocking.
this one has 3 power.
Well, yeah, it's got that as well. But this is definitely more of what I want to do. But I think the red white one's also very good. I think they're on par.
Yeah.
And then we come to Winding Constrictor. Black and a green for a 2/3 snake. If 1 or more counters would be placed on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters plus 1 are placed on that permanent instead. if you would get one or more counters, you get that many of those counters plus one instead. So things enter with an extra counter, and then whenever you would get a counter on something, you get one more.
Don't play this against Infect.
yeah, that's not going to be fun for you. So this is a must, isn't it? It's not a may. They just happens. Yep. This has got to be a cool card for the green-black decks.
This is a gift to Atraxa. So we've had a few big gifts for Breya. This one's a big gift for Atraxa. So it's now all of those proliferations, all of those counters, getting one more. So I'm trying to find the card. There was a card from Return to Ravnica, green-black, that had a similar effect.
Oh yeah, it's a 4/4 for 4, I think. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, no, the card. I think it's for possible swing counters. If they would get counters, they get double instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the name of it escapes me, but it's along there somewhere.
So yeah, this is going to be a good card as well. It might see constructed play. I just keep coming up with cards. Nissa just keeps coming to mind. Little Nissa. She's going to come in with an extra counter, and then she's going to give extra counters to on each of them -2 of her ability.
Being green-black, you've also got Liliana coming in with an extra counter.
Yes.
Activating the plus ability, you get 2 counters. So this works so well with Planeswalkers.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just excellent card. All right, and I think that rounds out our green cards. So
Awesome.
we've just got one more to go. Artifacts, that's going to be a big one, but that's it. Okay, join us for that one. We will see you next time. See you guys.